So there I was. Because every good story starts with, so there I was. 4 a.m. Southbound, loaded. Rain, coffee cup, podcast. Life is good. 3 deer.
We got multiple bogeys. 9 o'clock, 2 o'clock.
Suicidal deer.
Attacked by whitetail deer.
Like a bowling ball into bowling pins, I hit that herd of deer. Oof.
Flocks of them, herds of them.
2 from this way, 1 from that way. Boom, boom, boom. No human lives, no injuries, nothing like that. But boy howdy, my bumper got wrenched back into my steer tire. I kept it on the road. This isn't a tale about me, it's more about the truck. But so I was able to keep it straight, get off to the side of the road safely, put my 4-way flashers on, and get my flashlight out, walk around the truck and look for damage. It's like a Stephen King novel. I'll keep it rated PG for the kids. The blood raining down everywhere, fur stuck to the side of my trailer and up underneath, and chunk of deer leg sticking out between my duals. I had to pull that out. It's pretty ugly seeing 3 deer all tangled up with my drives and my trailer, and most of what I was smelling was disgusting, but just a little good, you know, cooking venison on my brake drums, a little good. My bumper was pushed back into my steer on the right side, and the other 2 deer that came from about the 9 o'clock position, well, they took out my fenders. So my fenders went flying. My trailer actually drove over my fenders. So what could I do? Just had to make sure the dead bodies were off to the side so that nobody else would hit them. Pretty ugly. So let me show you the damage. I threw my fenders up inside the trailer here. I'll show you. So I tossed my fenders that I found, one on the shoulder of the road and the other one in the ditch. And I was able to find enough room up inside my load and get my fenders thrown up in here. We're gonna be okay. Now, that I think is a huge testament to Minimizer Fenders. They are not a sponsor of me or of the channel. It'd be great if they wanted to come on board. We'd love to have them, but Minimizer fenders are what we run on all of our trucks, and you can tell, I think we're going to be able to reuse this fender. This one here, I'll pull that out. It got driven over. I don't know if there's any hope for that one. It's pretty rough. Any of you guys that run this style of fender and you want to put a mud flap on the outside, I see a lot of guys attach their mud flaps on the inside of that fender. You'll get a whole bunch of mud streaking down on your mud flaps if you do that. If you attach your mud flap on the outside of your fender, you don't get a whole bunch of mud streaks on it. And I use a little bit of aluminum strapping and some stainless hardware just to keep it all really steady on there. But yeah, so big washers. You can see there's still a bunch of hair and guts and junk up in there, but we're gonna be all right. We'll make it home. Praise the Lord, I could continue on with my day. I lost a little bit of time making a big mess of this truck, but all in all, we'll be okay. I'm praying I don't fling a big rock at this nice stainless or bust a window or something like that. So I'm being very gentle, especially driving on the gravel and the stone that I have to today. Take it slow. Take it slow. We'll get back home, get some fenders put on. We even have some at the shop, so I'm not too worried about it. I already told the boss about it. So yeah, we'll definitely have to get the pressure washer out to get some of these chunks of meat that are stuck that didn't come off in the rain. The bumper itself is gonna be fine. I was able to just bend it back straight. that's good enough for this bumper. This bumper has actually killed 6 deer already, just since I've driven it. And so guys have asked me before, like, dude, what's with the black diamonds on your bumper? Well, the honest truth is, the diamonds are there just to help hide the fact that this thing is all banged up and bent. So yeah, I may need to reinforce it again, or maybe eventually I'll put a new bumper on this thing. We'll see. I don't know. But thankfully I can just finish the day and continue on. So here we go. Time to go get reloaded, head north.
All right. Over the boat. Come on. Come on. Jeez. Got a little hair on you, a little fur there. Some deer fur.
It's the end of a long day, and made it back to the shop, obviously. So I've got the old pieces and anything usable for hardware taken off of my old fenders, and I'm gonna pressure wash anything that got really nasty this afternoon. Ironically, the day that this happens, it's like 40 degrees in mid-January in Minnesota, so everything's thawing out and melting, and so mud was definitely an issue today. And the quarry that I went into, I was driving really slow so I didn't throw rocks up against the back of the sleeper, and just trying to be as careful with it as I could. So yeah, I'm gonna just get everything cleaned up here tonight, and then I'm gonna come early in the morning and I'm gonna bolt on my replacement fenders. What's so awesome is that Brian keeps these fenders on hand. We were actually getting ready to put it on a different truck of ours in the fleet, and they are the exact same style, part number, everything that I have. He's got the full hardware kit and everything. So yeah, that's my plan. Just gonna get the worst of it off tonight so I don't have to work in a bunch of silt and mud and blood and guts and hair and stuff like that. That's really gross. So some of it, we have some leftovers from other projects. If I can use the used stuff and reuse it, I will, because I don't insist on having to have brand new everything. I'll also mention, had one or two guys mention this on Instagram when I posted it this afternoon. They were saying, hey, isn't Minimizer like lifetime warranty? They absolutely are, for factory defects. And obviously what happened today, having deer run right into the side of my truck, was not a factory defect. So, you know, could I put a claim in, and could I get some brackets or paddles or something like that because they're not supposed to break? Maybe, but it certainly isn't anything that is Minimizer's fault. If anything, I'm very impressed with this company and the products that they put out. Again, Minimizer's not a sponsor. So anyway, yeah, gonna get started on it first thing tomorrow morning and try and make a full day of it, because got loads to haul, got money to make. So. Well, those of you that know me, you know that that drives me absolutely crazy to pressure wash half the truck just to get the worst of it off and not actually get soap and water on it, you know, and then to leave it wet like this with the really hard well water that we have out here at the shop. That's gonna just leave a bunch of spots too. But I have to prioritize. This thing's gonna get its thorough wash on Saturday, and we're gonna be driving on wet roads for the next 2 days. So tonight was just about trying to get that nasty smell of deer poop and burned venison, stuff like that, off the truck, and make a nice mud-free environment for getting those fenders on in the morning. So anyway, time to go home, see the family for a while, and I will see you in the morning. we go. That worked out pretty well. So I'll run you through a couple of things that I discovered along the way, and yeah, I am not gonna reuse the front flap. It got so scarred up and road rashed, I'm just gonna replace it. So I'll pick up a new one. This one's actually road rashed pretty bad too, worse than I thought initially. So I'll probably end up replacing it as well, but for the next week or so until I get some new ones on there, I need to at least run something. So I discovered that that deer hit actually bent. I don't know if you can see that. It actually bent that bracket. Yeah. See if I can, yeah. So what that did is, as I was trying to bolt on my new one, it caused this bracket to be pushed in, and I was getting all kinds of weird curvatures and things like that out of my fender. So once I discovered, oh, okay, got a bent bracket there, just unbolted it from the frame, leave the spacers in there. Everything else was the same, and thankfully, one of the great things about having a fleet that we all use the same style fender is that we get used pieces, and so I was able to dig through what we had and pull up another one and put that on. So Minimizer makes an awesome product, and really impressed with how well these things hold up. So their instructions are really thorough. Again, Minimizer is not a sponsor, but start with the fenders upside down and on the floor. You pinch them together with some vice grips or clamps, bolt them together in the center, and then start in the center, work your way out. And you can see that I was taking a lot of measurements against the floor. Now, again, I am loaded and I'm not perfectly level, perfectly flat. So there is like a 1 inch difference from side to side in my height, but I'm really not that worried about it. It's okay. That set of fenders over there is used, actually the right rear, it's been on like, I think 3 different trucks. So I'm really not that concerned about it. This thing is a rat rod and we use what we have available. So it's all right. If there's holes already drilled in it, sometimes I'll plug the holes in that plastic just to keep mud from coming through. But yeah, so I'm gonna finish in the next week or two. I'll get that front flap put back on, polish up the aluminum on it. And you could probably see I dumped the air suspension, put a couple blocks of wood up on top to get the spacing correct. And yeah, so you can make fine-tune adjustments either here at the bolt attaching it to the frame. I know it's a little dark under here, sorry. And also you can make adjustments there, and obviously once you drill it, so well, I want to be careful. So I do have a little bit of difference side to side, and I also discovered, I'll show you this too, that this is a factory hole and this is a factory hole on this side, but they're actually different in distance from the back of the frame to this bolt, back of the frame here to this bolt. Even though they're factory holes or factory mud flaps, they're different by 1 inch. This side is further ahead. So that's part of what was throwing me off in all my measurements. I kept going, why does this bracket have to be at a different angle than that side? Well, that's why. And so maybe somebody in the comments can tell me why. This is a 2007 International rear cutoff that we put on like a month ago, and everything from there up to the back of the cab right there is 2007 International. So I don't know if there was something about, you know, the spacing that they had for fuel tanks and toolboxes and things like that, why they would have had the mud flat bracket 1 inch further back on one side compared to the other side on the frame. I'm not really sure, but that's the way the factory had it. So that's why my adjustments are a little bit different side to side, but it's okay. Unless I pointed that out to you guys or anybody else, nobody would probably know. So that's it. I got it all put back together, ready to get to work. We got a couple more days here. We got some sloppy weather on the way, and it's gonna be nice to protect the back of the sleeper from getting flung with all kinds of mud and slop and stuff like that. So obviously it's far from perfect, just like me. Pieces and parts on this truck and all the other ones in our fleet get you know, interchanged and mixed around, and we use used parts and rusty stuff, and that's okay. So if you run a different style of fender, if you prefer stainless steel, if you prefer fiberglass, things like that, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. I never beg you guys to click this and smash that and do this. You know what to do if you like this kind of content, but it's growing really fast. I appreciate each one of you. Thank you for coming along on the journey. And if you want to interact with me directly, you'll find me at Instagram. It's at flannel_Philip, and we can chat back and forth. I'm also on Getter. I'm also on Rumble. So thanks again, everybody. Peace and grease.
So there I was.